In the heart of the ancient African kingdom of Kundu, there was a strange secret that bound the fate of the kingdom to an old dog named Noma. Noma was no ordinary dog. His fur was patched with the colors of dawn and dusk, and his eyes glowed like two amber stones, wise and weary. For 12 long years, Noma had barked without pause, a steady rhythmic bark that echoed through the palace of King Obadele, day and night. It was said that if Noma's barking ever ceased, even for a moment, King Obadele's sight would vanish like dew under the morning sun. The story of Noma's barking and the king's sight was wrapped in mystery. Years ago, when Obadele was a young prince, he had gone on a journey into the sacred forests of Kumbala. There, he unknowingly offended the spirit of the eye, a being that governed vision and clarity, by stepping on a rare moss that was its sacred offering. As punishment, the spirit cursed Obadele. "The day silence falls upon your ears, so too will darkness fall upon your eyes." Pleading for mercy, Obadele begged the spirit to spare him. The spirit relented, but only by binding his sight to a guardian, a conduit to ward off the curse. That guardian took the form of Noma, a pup born of the mystical Kumbala woods. From that day onward, Noma barked endlessly, his voice a shield against the curse. For years, the people of Kundu endured the dog's barking with patience. Though the sound filled every corner of the palace, the villagers knew the price of silence was far greater. But there was one person who could not bear it, Prince Jabari, the king's only son. Jabari was a fiery, restless youth. He loved his father dearly, but the constant barking of Noma irked him to no end. "How can we live like this?" Jabari would complain to his mother, Queen Noma. "Day and night, bark after bark, no silence, no peace. Are we just prisoners of this old mutt?" Queen Noma would place her calm hand on Jabari's shoulder. "Patience, my son. Noma's bark is your father's sight. Without it, Kundu will lose its king." But Jabari couldn't understand. Deep down, he resented how one dog's life seemed to hold the kingdom in its grip. One fateful day, Jabari's frustration reached its peak. He was playing in the palace courtyard with his cousins when Noma's barking nearby grated on him like a storm. In a rash moment, Jabari picked up a small stone and threw it at the old dog. The stone hit Noma's hind leg, and the dog yelped in pain. For the first time in 12 years, the barking stopped. A hush fell over the air, as if the whole world froze in shock. Then came the scream. King Obadele, who had been sitting in his council chamber, clutched his eyes and cried out, "I cannot see! Darkness has taken me!" The elders ran to Noma, whose injured leg bled slowly. They looked at Prince Jabari with fury and disappointment, knowing he had broken the sacred bond. Queen Noma rushed to comfort her husband, but his sight remained gone, and the light in his eyes dimmed. Guilt consumed Jabari as the weight of his actions crashed over him. He had thought it was just a dog, just a sound. But now he had plunged his father and his kingdom into darkness. The elders convened deep into the night, speaking in hushed tones. They agreed there was only one way to restore the king's sight. The spirit of the eye had to be appeased. But the spirit was known to be temperamental and cruel, and the journey to the Kumbala forest was treacherous. "My son," Queen Noma said to Jabari that night, "you must go. This is your doing, and only you can make it right." Tears brimmed in Jabari's eyes. "Mother, I will do it. I would give my life to undo what I have done." At dawn, Jabari set off toward the sacred forest, with Noma limping faithfully at his side. The journey was long and grueling. The desert sun scorched their backs, and the forest ahead seemed alive with whispers and shadows. Jabari carried Noma when the dog grew too weak to walk, cradling the animal that had once been his target of frustration. Slowly, a bond grew between them, a bond forged in struggle and repentance. When they finally reached the heart of the Kumbala forest, a thick mist enveloped them. The spirit of the eye appeared, its form shimmering like liquid glass. "Why have you come, foolish boy?" it asked, its voice echoing with unseen power. Jabari knelt, holding Noma in his arms. "I have come to undo my foolishness. I wounded this dog and silenced him, not knowing his importance. Please, restore my father's sight. Take my eyes instead if you must, but spare him and forgive me." The spirit was silent for a long time. Then it spoke. "Your love for your father moves me, as does your willingness to bear the cost of your actions, but you must prove your sincerity." The spirit demanded a test, a trial of endurance and loyalty. Jabari was sent to gather 3 impossible objects: the feather of the golden eagle that nested on the highest cliff, water from the well guarded by the lion of Nzama, and fire from the coldest mountain. The trials tested Jabari to his core. He scaled cliffs with blistered hands, his heart beating with fear as the eagle swooped at him. He outsmarted the great lion by luring it into slumber with a song he had learned from his grandmother, and he braved the icy winds of the cold mountain, carrying fire in his cupped hands though it burned his skin. When Jabari returned to the spirit, exhausted but victorious, it nodded approvingly. "You have shown courage, wisdom, and heart. Your father's sight will be restored." The spirit touched Noma, healing his leg and igniting his endless bark with renewed strength. The sound echoed across the land, waking King Obadele and bringing light back to his eyes. When Jabari returned to the palace, he fell at his father's feet. "Forgive me, Baba. I was foolish and proud. I see now that Noma is not just a dog. He is the protector of this kingdom and of you." King Obadele embraced his son, tears streaming from his newly restored eyes. "You have made a grave mistake, my son, but you have also shown the strength to make it right. That is the mark of a true leader." From that day on, Jabari and Noma were inseparable. Each bark was no longer a source of annoyance, but a reminder of love, sacrifice, and the deep bond that held the kingdom of Kundu together. And so, Noma barked on, and the kingdom thrived under the watchful eyes of the dog that must not stop barking. Please subscribe to my channel for more interesting stories. Hit the like button for more tips.